Welcome to this Tech and Space Leaders Show, where we learn lessons from leaders of the next frontier. I am your host, Lisa Dreher, and I'm really excited to introduce our guest for today, Thomas Pawlak. He is the co-founder and CEO of Lesath International. Welcome to the show, Thomas.
Thank you, Lisa. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you here. Thank you for making time. Maybe we can start by having you just give us a little bit of background on yourself and Lesath International.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. I grew up watching a movie called Space Camp. I don't know if everybody's ever saw it, but if you haven't, you should. It's a great movie. And it kind of inspired me to find a way to help humanity. And throughout the course of my career, I got into healthcare and healthcare management to try to help people the best way I knew how. And I ended up getting a business degree from Madai College. And I thought, what better way to help humanity than to step into the space launch game? And it's kind of where we're at today. So.
Wow, really exciting. So tell me about what are some of the things that Lesath is looking to solve? Obviously, there are some missing pieces in the launch side of things. So what are those areas that Lesath is addressing?
Lesath is looking to hit a reusability cadence unlike any other launch service provider. We want to offer a rapid launch of within 72 hours to deliver constellation satellites to low Earth orbit for the mid-size commercial satellite providers. By doing our reusability and rapid launch, we will effectively drive down the cost of launch to make sure that Lesath is extremely competitive.
That's great. Okay, so how is what you're doing? How are you doing it differently to make it possible to have these very quick turnaround launches?
Thank you. It's in our mission profile. So by the design of our engines and the fuel that we'll be using, essentially it's going to give us the best performance that we found against our competitors in the market.
Got it. Got it. So what types of payloads will Lesath be able to support?
So right now we're targeting 1,700 kilograms to LEO, about 1,500 kilograms to the ISS reference orbit, 1,100 to 1,200 kilograms to SSO PO, and approximately 150 kilograms to MEO.
Great, great. Okay, so of course this begs the most important question, which is when do you expect to begin launches?
Launches we anticipate, and there's a lot of factors involved with that, and funding is a major contributor to that, but we'd like to do orbital testing within the next 5 years. We anticipate putting our test engine on a stand within the next few months, given the appropriate funding opportunity.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, what do you expect the growth to be in terms of human spaceflight over the next decade?
We believe that human spaceflight, it's going to multiply tenfold probably within the next 5 to 10 years.
Wow. So, what do you see as the biggest driving factors for that?
Just like the Wild West, when we sprawled out in the gold rush, I mean, there's an endless frontier in space and a lot of resources and opportunity to expand humanity and to have a presence within our solar system.
Right, right. So, when you think about the founding of Lesath, what were some of the main factors that went into the founding of the company?
Yeah, so we founded Lesath in April of 2021 with the objective to connecting humanity in space and open access up to all, even smaller payloads, for universities, small startup companies, like ourselves, and just kind of offer that opportunity to all of humanity and not just a select few that can afford high ticket launches. So, the main focus from the get-go was driving down the cost and the time that it would take to get those payloads to orbit.
Right, right. Do you so I think, obviously there's a number of launch providers, but one in particular that seems to have the biggest corner on the market right now. Do you think that there's plenty of room in the market for other players?
Yes, we do. Actually, we find there's quite a gap because of some of the larger launch providers, and our business model and mission is targeted directly at that opportunity, and we feel that we're going to be a competitor even to the larger launch providers that are currently out there.
I see, I see. And I can't remember, but where were you planning to do your launches? Do you have plans for exactly where the launches will take
Yeah.
off from?
So we've been running a lot of our analysis and numbers off of Cape Canaveral. So we find that launching from the Cape is really specific to our mission, but there will be some other opportunities and other launch sites that for specific missions, opens up that for the company.
Great, great. Okay, so how long has Lesath International been in development?
We've been putting the company together since 2021 and effectively started the game plan for our requirements and kind of how that mission is going to look, right? So around early of 2022, we really started putting the effort in to also build the company, but to build our program and our product.
Great, great. Okay. So, I mean, not really that long. So, if you were to start all over again, is there anything that you would do different knowing what you know now?
Yes, actually, I think I would start it off differently by trying to come up with a few $100 million myself. It'd be nice to start off right out of the gate with that, but it's been very challenging, but also it's been a learning experience for myself and the whole team. And we're really excited to what we're going to bring to the industry.
Right, right. Yeah. And so I think you've kind of alluded to a challenge that I think a lot of space companies tend to have, I mean, especially space startups, is that funding part of the equation and finding investors that understand the space industry and understand that the timescales maybe are a little bit different than an earth-based SaaS company, for example. How have you found working through that process?
Being crystal clear of the expectations, with our investors, not making unrealistic timelines, and really trying to drive down the cost as much as possible to our investors and to the company as a whole. And no wasteful spending, and to really have a strategic game plan in place for checks and balances to ensure that goal is met.
Right, right, right. I think that we also tend to run into roadblocks along the way as we're developing things, especially something as ambitious as what you're working on at Lesath. So, what have you found are the most effective ways to work around or through those roadblocks that you just inevitably run into?
So when we come up with a roadblock at Lesath, we like to have team meetings to discuss and kind of map out, if we went down the left road or the right side of the road, what's going to be the deliverable from that? What's the best course of action to take? So we like to have a lot of discussion on what's the better solution.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then how do you, I guess, choose the path to go down? I mean, obviously you don't always know it's the right path until you get
Right.
down the path. So how do you choose?
Well, I like to take the approach of what financially makes sense and what makes sense from a timeline aspect, and kind of map out what are the multiple results we can get from this. And that kind of dictates what path we go down,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best option.
absolutely. Okay, so I would love to end with one last question, and that is if you were to make one prediction about the future of space launch, what would it be?
that humanity is going to have a fun time developing themselves within the solar system, from space hotels to manufacturing operations. It'll be really nice to see humanity spread itself out even further off of this planet.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if someone wanted to learn more about Lesath International, what should they do?
You can check us out at lesathinternational.com. We have our LinkedIn page. You could look up any of our team members and reach out. We'd be love to answer any of the questions that you may have for us. And we look forward to you learning more about our company.
Fantastic. Thomas, thank you so much for making time to be here today. We really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. And I do want to take a moment to thank GuideForce for hosting these sessions. To learn more about GuideForce, you can visit guideforce.com. And we'll see you next time on the Tech and Space Leaders Show.